Welcome to Griffin MTG, and I think it's week 8 of our card challenges.
It is.
I'm finally keeping up with that.
All right, how many games have we played inside the 8 weeks?
Jeez, you told me 59, but that was a few days ago. That's something we have published. Add in a few more, so are we up to like 63
no, I think you're right
now?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so going strong, and I'm hoping to
strong.
continue this for a while now because honestly, I'm really enjoying this, and it seems like you're having fun learning what the cards are.
I am, and I'm still learning about the mechanics inside the cards from how you talk about it. And sometimes when I get, my brain gets a little full, I don't ask about some of the mechanics, but when I'm feeling good and learning mode, I will. I'll dig a little bit. And I got some more games for you tonight. I got a new one.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
It might be interesting.
Well, we already know both our brains work differently than the average person's. So it's good that we found a way, even if it's slower than initially planned, for teaching you how magic works. We're getting you to understand it, and you're embracing it.
I think I said from the very beginning that I was going to be slow. I think you did not believe me at how slow I might be.
Well, we're so similar in a lot of things. I just sort of assumed you would take the magic the same way I did.
Right. Nope.
I missed that one.
You did indeed. You want to get into it?
Let's do this.
13 questions, just like 20 questions as a kid, but you only get 13 questions to guess which Magic the Gathering card I picked out for you today.
Okay. Well, let's start with the classics. Is it permanent?
It is.
Is it multicolored?
It is.
Is it 2 colors?
It is.
Do the colors include Orzhov?
Gotta help me out.
Either or. Does it include black and or white?
Does not.
Does it include green?
Yes.
Does it include blue?
No.
So it's green, red, permanent. Is it a creature?
No.
Is it
You
an
cut down the
enchantment?
colors pretty quickly today.
I got really lucky by picking 2 that weren't in the color combination first.
Right. Sorry, what was that question?
Is it an enchantment?
It is.
Is it 3 or less mana?
Yes.
Is it Rhythm of the Wild?
It is. Damn it. All right. Pretty good.
All right. That's one of the quintessential Gruel enchantments. So as soon as I realized enchantment, I narrowed down to 3, knowing if you said yes, that was going to be my guess.
Okay. Again, I don't know the body of work well enough to fully understand how hard or easy I've made it with my pick.
Honestly, I got lucky with the colors. If the cards had taken me an extra 2 questions, it would have felt better.
Yeah, that worked out well, right? You white and black, and now you know you're some combo of the other 3. That you should try to do that every time. Rule out 2 colors right away. I think that's a good approach.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you
welcome.
so much.
You ready for the next one? You better be. All right.
All right.
Pass, pay, or proxy. Ready? You're already staring at your computer.
That's Izzet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had it pulled up.
Pass, pay, or proxy. Izzet Commanders priced between $2 and $7.50. You have 12 cards to choose from. Total value is just over $48. I'm giving you a $24 budget. 1 proxy, no refunds, no change. Good luck, Griff. This is going to be a tough one for you, I think.
You have a $24 budget?
I do. You do.
Jeez.
First off, Niv Mizzet Perun, $3.
Buy.
I kind of knew that would be a buy. Second, Niv Mizzet Visionary, $6.
Pass.
Ooh, I did not see that one. Magnus the Red, $3.50.
I'll pass.
Fur Crag Cunning Instigator, $3.
I'll buy him.
Okay. Ian Malcolm. I don't know how to pronounce that next word. I'm just going with Ian Malcolm. Chaotician, $4. It's the Jeff
Of course you
Goldblum
picked this one.
I love him. I love him.
I'll buy it.
Okay.
How much was that?
$4. I think he slipped by you in a last card standing game. And,
It was a different Goldblum.
was it a different
card.
one? Okay.
Yeah. It was one that actually had the rendition of Goldblum on it.
Okay. Real the Everwise.
Riel.
Riel the Everwise, $2.
Yeah, I'll buy.
Shahili the Gifted, $2.50.
I'll pass.
Because it's a planeswalker?
Yeah.
Okay. But I did read the card as instructed.
It does say you play it as a commander. Yes.
Keranos, God of Storms, $3.50.
Yeah, I'll buy.
You get, what are you down to? You only had $24 to start with.
Oh, I'm down to $8.50.
Okay. Veyron, Voice of Duality, $7.50.
Proxy Veyron.
Okay. Why do you look pained? I thought that was a slam dunk proxy.
It's a good proxy. I just don't know what's left.
You don't. You cannot afford them all, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I figured that much.
How much do you have left?
$8.50.
The Locust God, $4. Do you want hints on how much is left? I can't give it to you.
No. I'm going to pass on the Locust God.
What are you hoping for?
I don't have much hope, really.
Okay.
It's
Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, $6.
He goes for 6?
I even used
Yeah, you
TCG
used some-
player prices.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm teachable.
Yeah, it's a slow process, but we're getting
It is
there.
slow. I told you it would be.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying the process. It's been fun. Let's go. How many?
This is your
cards are
second to
left?
last one after this.
I'm gonna pass on Sarkon.
And the last one is Galazeth Prismari, 350.
I'll buy Galazeth.
All right. Are there any left? Are there any that you felt like you left that you should have gotten or you would have liked?
Nothing major.
Okay.
I think I could have bought the Locust God because I have $5 left and that's $4. But
Right.
the Locust God is, in my mind, a less efficient Niv Mizzet Perun deck.
Oh, and you already
It's-
picked that one up.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just didn't want to go for that. That said, still very good card, very useful commander, just not what I needed.
Right. All right. What EDH rec got wrong? Selesnya edition. I want you to name the top 5 commanders, in your opinion, from Selesnya, but in reverse order. I'm going first. EDH rec has Glunch, the Bestower, with a little over 5,000 decks.
All right. So everything, I think I only have one card in my personal top 5 for Selesnya that I think people should build more. That's
You think people should build less? Oh, there's okay. I'll let you finish.
in EDH Rec's top 5 to begin with.
Okay.
Like that people actually build as a top 5 Selesnya. Everything else doesn't get built nearly enough, in my opinion.
This seems to be par for your course.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's hear it.
So to start us off, Gaddock Teague.
Never even heard of it. Is it way down the list?
He is a healthy ways down the list.
Okay.
I'll actually double check and see just how many decks he has.
Are you laughing at yourself?
835.
Okay.
He's a stacks commander and he makes for a very price efficient game. He essentially puts a cap on how high cost spells can be during the game. He's
For
very
you or
annoying.
for everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
He's very annoying to play against, but he is a really fun forced build restriction when you're building him yourself, trying to figure out how you can win, also being the draw of a lot of ire and the protection required and everything that combines to make him such a fun build.
So when you put the deck together, you know that this card will restrict the cost of the cards you put out, so you build your deck accordingly, but the people you play against have no idea that it's coming out. They will have often a deck that is not suited to play against you because their cost of playing cards is too high.
A lot of times, yes. And then
Okay.
that's going to mean you have now 3 people trying to answer you and treat you as a problem instead of one person who just is upset or anything like that.
Okay.
So you're setting yourself up for a 3v1, but it makes a really interesting deck restriction building.
Right, that hasn't stopped you apparently. Number 4, EDH Rec has Kyler, Sigardian Emissary.
All right. So number 4, I'm going to go with Kadira, Caller of the Small. She is relatively high up on this list.
For you,
Well, she has 3,945 decks.
that's respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went up over 4 times as many decks.
All right. Number 3, Elevair of the Wild Court, over 6,500 decks.
For number 3, I'm going to do Savala Explorer Returned.
There are several Savalas, yes?
Yes, there are. This one has 2,365 decks and it has a parlay mechanic. So I've seen this deck built really high in power level or down into a group hug mechanic. It's a really interesting.
What is Parlay outside
so
of pirate movies?
You tap it, everyone flips over the top card of their library. Person who taps Zavala gets mana, everyone else draws a card, and the other person also can gain life. It's a give and take mechanic.
Okay.
It's not really printed much.
But you enjoy playing with it at times.
Yeah, and the amount of variety in how it can be built is extremely interesting.
Number 2, EDH Rec has Arabo. Is that how you pronounce it? Arabo, Roar of the World, over 7,600 decks.
This is going to be the closest I get to agreeing with EDH Rec.
Yeah?
I'm not going to put a Rabo up there. I don't think Eminence should have ever been printed.
You
on
don't
a
like
card.
Eminence in general?
Correct. That is slightly hypocritical coming from someone with a Ur Dragon deck, but Ur Dragon is also really the best dragon commander still. And it always will be because Eminence is a broken ability.
But that's not something that can be, they can't either take it away or outlaw, ban.
Not
You can't
at this
ban.
point.
Right, okay. So who's your number 2?
So for this one,
And it
we're
sounds
gonna
like
go with-
Arabo's not going to be your number 1 either.
No, but
Okay.
Sithis can just move down a spot.
Okay.
I truly respect Sithis, and she is an amazing commander. The Enchantress archetype is amazing. I just happen to run my Enchantress deck as a 5-color Wooburg deck under the Shrined commander, Goshintai.
Okay. So you spoiled it. That was EDH Rex number 1, Sithis. Who's your number 1?
Well, let's also get the numbers here.
Okay,
Sithis has how many decks?
11,500-ish.
So it's not even close between the number 1 and number 2 on EDH Rec.
What
But
do you have? I hope people have even heard of your commander.
they have.
Okay.
I hope. Kudo, King Among Bears. Number 7 overall Selesnya commander.
Oh, okay. For sure. Yes.
It has 5,057 decks. So reasonable
It just
enough.
missed the top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've talked about this. I think you did a deck build video.
I did. See, on my personal account, I nicknamed this deck Grin and Bear It.
Well, you're not even a dad. You like the dad jokes or puns or...
Yeah, sometimes I do. Most of the time, my decks are just named Karavek, Dragon,
Not this one.
Elves. Like, it is just by the book, either what tribe it is or what. Yeah, it's so basic.
Okay. Well, there you go. Top 5. Is there anything you want to throw in there about Kudo for me to end on?
Make everything a bear that's the same size and power, and then make your bears buffer and wreck people. It's a really simple build that everyone learns to hate. Also, you can put Gaddock Teague in a Kudo build. Like, it just slots right into that deck beautifully. And people hate you even more, but they can't remove everything.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I will edit that in.
Yeah, let's do this.
Last card standing. Winner stays. You only get to keep 1 card. This is the Jund edition. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
This is the Jund edition. First up, Ball, Lord of Murder versus Victus Asmadi, the Dyer.
Vivictus, one of my friends used to have a disgusting Vivictus deck. It's such a fun commander.
Next, we have Kresh the Blood Braided.
I'll take Kresh because that's actually the sub-commander of a Gruel fight deck that I just recently built.
I only recognize half of those words.
Gruel,
What is a sub-commander?
So a sub-commander is essentially a creature that acts as a secondary commander. It does a very similar thing as my main commander, but isn't actually needed.
So it's not partner. It's in your 99.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just a card that on the field acts very similarly to my main commander.
All right. So you have Kresh against...
The main commander of that deck, I figure someone's probably going to ask, Marika, Brutal Gladiator.
Okay.
Is she on your list?
I'm looking. Do you want the honest answer? No.
All
she
right.
is not.
Cool. Then
Where are we? Kresh against Winter, Misanthropic Guide.
I'll keep Kresh.
The Beamtown Bullies.
Beamtown.
I just thought that card looked good. I thought it looked
That
good.
deck is disgusting.
Why?
I had to take mine apart. So the idea of that deck is you fill your graveyard up with horrid cards that only hurt your opponents or for some reason benefit you. And so let's say we go to your opponent's upkeep. Untap, about to draw, you tap Beamtown Bullies and give them a card called Leveler.
Okay.
Leveler says, I believe it's exile your library.
They have to.
Because it comes in under their control. So his ETB is when Leveler enters the battlefield, exile your library. So suddenly they don't have a library. They go to draw. When you are forced to draw and cannot draw a card in Magic the Gathering, you lose the game.
Okay. So it's a backdoor loss.
Yes.
Well, I'm curious to see how well Beamtown Bullies hangs on here. Your lock of Scorch Thrash.
Maybe not as well as we thought.
Are there a lot of good cards in this guild?
Yeah, it's no longer a guild. So the guild are the 2-color combinations. And that's a thing because of how important the Ravnica plane was. These are just the color combinations. I should look more into the exact origin of these names.
Okay.
Yurlok is, I picked Yurlok because I've built that deck before and I put in cards like Mana Barbs. There's just a lot of cards you add in as pieces where any game action that is taken by anybody hurts them.
Okay.
You can't tap mana. You can't cast spells. You can't have mana in your pool. All of this will hurt you.
Yurlok against Slimefoot and Squee.
I'll keep Yurlok.
Disa the Restless.
I will keep Yurlok.
Up against Prosh, Sky Raider of Kerr. Kerr?
Care.
All right.
I'm switching to Prosh. I had that deck built at one point. It's so much fun once you learn how to pilot it.
This feels like it might be your favorite color combination in a while.
It's up there, yeah.
Okay. Hinsey Toolbox Torre.
I'm sticking with Prosh. Hinsey is a really fun and interesting build. I don't have a personal connection to it outside of playing against it some.
All right, only 2 left. Corvold, Fey Cursed Kind.
I love Corvold, but I also hate Corvold because I played against some disgusting Corvold builds. So I'm sticking with Prosh.
And last one, Lord Windgrace.
Prosh. Lord of Windgrace has been a deck I've tried to build unsuccessfully, really, because I don't like its mechanics. It's not a powerful enough planeswalker for me to think
it's not another
worth building
Imminence
around.
mechanic, is it?
No, it's just the planeswalker abilities, and having commander that's attackable is...
All right, what EDH Rec got wrong? Gruel edition. I want you to name the top 5 commanders in your opinion in the Gruel Guild, but in reverse order. I'm going first. I'm representing EDH Rec. Number 5, Omnath, Locust of Rage, 7,400 decks.
All right. We're not gonna go too far off on this. Isn't gonna be as out there as some of my other ones. Let's say that.
Okay. Well, you left some room. A couple of your others have been far afield.
Yeah, I think I was once in like the 70s for most popular of some.
Yeah.
No, so number 5, we're gonna do the Howling one, which I think is like 13 on the list.
That's not bad.
Or the Howling Abomination.
Okay.
4,049 decks.
It's pretty respectable.
It's a really interesting take on a Gruel Storm commander, which isn't something you see a lot of. There's a lot of ways to do mono red storm, and green gives you a lot of advantage in terms of landfall and getting mana. So it's easy to see how it can be built. But the fact is you don't see a lot of Gruel Storm builds because most people go for what are generally seen as a more optimal color combination for such a thing, such as including blue, where you get the card draw.
Okay. EDH Rex number 4 is Atali Primal Conqueror. Coming up on 10,000 decks, 9,750.
I'm actually okay leaving Atali right there.
Okay. Your number 4 as well?
It's a really good deck. It's a really good card. I got nothing but respect for it.
All right. I'm curious what you think about number 3, Kibo Uktabi Prince. Just beating Ollie out.
That monkey can go right into Agatha's Vile Cauldron.
I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound great.
Well, there's a 2-mana commander named Agatha of the Vile Cauldron, and her art is literally just her stirring a pot. And
is that your number 3?
It is.
Okay.
She's a really interesting build because you could do it super high powered, or you can just be like, I'm going to make all these weird abilities really cheap to use and just use them.
A more casual, fun build as opposed to...
So you could do really janky, weird abilities, or you can do really high-powered, it's free for me to deal damage to you sort of thing.
Okay. Number 2 for EDH Rec is Bello, Bard of the Brambles, 11,200 decks.
All right. For this one, I think we're jumping to the 15 on the list.
Okay.
Mira, Scholar of Antiquity.
Is that a personal connection?
Not really. I actually haven't got my hands on Mira yet, and I do want to build her.
Right.
But she's a really interesting card in that she is a Gruel, actually similar to Bello in this manner. She is a Gruel Artifacts commander. Only she, well, you can
I don't know what that means.
Well, you can see Bello has the key or uses the term artifacts, rules decks. Okay, sorry. It's just not a very common theme, and she reads initially similar to an old school powerhouse called Urza that shook the format when it came out and still is incredibly powerful. And I like how she plays, how she reads. It seems like such an interesting build.
You're number 2. We'll have to find a way to get one into your collection.
It's
I am coming out. Why haven't you done it? Happy birthday to
I just haven't
you.
put together an order big enough for that yet.
Yeah. Last one, number 1, Tovalar, Dire Overlord.
Or Rurkthar the Unbowed.
I have not heard of this one. Not surprisingly.
6/6 trample reach. must attack each turn if able. And whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Rorthar deals 6 damage to that player.
You said that you were not going to be as out of line with the top 5. You only had one crossover.
Everything I picked was in the top 20, though.
Okay. You just didn't go as far down the list.
Yeah.
You didn't agree a lot with what EDH read.
No, but I was within the top 20.
Yeah.
So for me, that's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Calling this Magic the Gathering March Madness. We have your 10 cards at 1 from last card standing from the 10 guilds. And we're going to put them in brackets and play them against each other. Because there are 10, we have 2 play-ins. I seeded the number 1 and seeded the number 2 based on what I thought you might call your favorite 2. And we'll see how I did.
All
so
right.
your first play-in is Golgari winner against the Gruel winner. So we have Dina, Soul Steeper, against Jolene, the Plunder Queen. The winner of this will take on the number 1 seed, in my mind, of the whole bracket.
Well,
They're
Dina
all
at
good.
least, Delina at least gets into the tournament.
Okay, so Jolene's gone. That really hurts me because I really enjoyed the episode where Jolene, the Plunder Queen, made it all the way through.
That's fair.
Okay,
But
so Dina made it through. In our second play-in game, we have Simic, Adrix, and Nev Twincasters versus Azorius, Brago, King External.
yeah, we already know how this is. Do we actually? No.
I don't.
Brago.
Okay, so those are your play-ins.
Yeah.
Now we're going to the set brackets. First play-in winner, Dina, up against my number 1, what I think your number 1, Rakdos, Prosper, Tomebound against Dina.
The bracket holds true so far.
Okay, so Prosper won.
Prosper can take that one handily.
Okay, the second bracket is Selesnya against Orzhov. So we have Solvala, Explore Returned, versus Ellis Core, Sadistic Pilgrim.
Elseal Core.
Okay, we're dropping down to the bottom bracket. We have the second play-in winner, who was Bragos, coming in against Izzet, Gearson Starn, Kelemorph.
Gearson Starn.
Okay, the top of that bracket, we have Demir against Boros. We have Wilhelt, the Rot Cleaver, against Winota, Joiner of Forces.
Winota.
Okay.
Winota all the way there.
So we have our final 4. In the top bracket, that means we have Prosper Tomebound against Ellis Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim, to represent Magic the Gathering in the finals. They're all tough choices.
Yeah. No, I know Rakdos is like my bread and butter, but Ellis Ilkor represents a more particular play style that I really enjoy with the aristocrats.
Okay.
So I
Is that a
will
win?
go for Ellis Core.
Okay. In our bottom bracket, we have Gearson Starn Kelemorph against Winota, Joiner of Forces.
Oda.
Okay. So that our final is Ellis Core, Sadistic Pilgrim against Winota, Joiner of Forces. MTG, March Madness. Our national champion is.
Not me.
You can't have a tie.
No, I know, which is why this is frustrating. LCO Core really represents a lot of my play style with the ping effects and playing into an aristocrats using your graveyard. And it's a whole cyclical thing that I really enjoy. However, Winota is really good at board control and building board advantage, which I really enjoy as well. And it has a really good way about it. Also, I sort of just got Winota in the mail today, so...
All right, so it sounds like we're going into overtime. You have to pick a winner.
LSL Core, that's more the cyclical play style of creating loops that I fall into more often.
All right, there we go. Some tough choices there.
Yeah, that was a good setup.
Editing might be a bear. I'll figure it out. All right. Pass, pay, or proxy. Boros Commanders, priced between $2 and $6.50. You have 12 cards to choose from. Total value is $46. You have a $23 budget. 1 proxy. No refunds, no change. First up is Kalemni, Disciple of Iroas. $2.
Pass.
All right. Cassandra, Eagle Bearer. $4.
I'll pass.
Okay. Aurelia, the War Leader.
How much?
Oh, yeah. $6.
All right. What's the price range on these cards again?
$2 all the way up to $6.50.
I will proxy this card.
Okay. I bet you want this next one way or another. Well, there's only one way to get it now. Winota, Joiner of Forces, $4.
I'll buy Winota.
Akiri, Line Slinger, $3. Is Boros not your go-to?
Not really, and I'll pass on Akiri.
Elvor, Battle Ready, $2.
Oh, I'll pass.
A lot of passing. Cadric, Soul Kindler, $3. CADRIC.
I will buy this one. Ways around the legend rule are generally just useful.
You like to have those on hand?
Yeah, it's always good to be able to say, I'm just going to have 5 legendary creatures.
This
Y'all
doesn't
can deal
apply
with
to me.
that. Yeah.
Alabu, Ancient Witness, $6.50.
That is actually a solid card. I'll buy it.
Anum Pakal, Thousandth Moon, $2.50.
Thank you. I really don't know.
Boros.
How far down are you picking these?
I break into prices, so they're all in the around the $2.50 to $5 range. Sort by price.
I know, but I like seeing how far down they are the actual list when I try to figure out
I don't consider that when I put this together. Guess what I'm cutting?
this.
Yeah.
And
Anim, A-N-I-M.
I'm going to pass.
It's a whole lot of passing. Wyleth, Soul of Steel, $4.50.
I'll
Look at that
buy?
face. Are you sure? You didn't really say it with your whole soul.
I mean, it's a decent card draw for a Voltron deck, so it's usable. I like that effect more than the free attachment from the Akiris.
And Kellen,
I think I got enough.
Kellen, the Fey Blooded, $3.
How many cards come after Kellen?
One more after.
Yeah, we'll risk it. I'll buy Kellen.
What do you have left?
$2.
Hiri, Forged in Fury, $5.50.
Oh, I didn't have enough anyways.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's a good car, right? Maybe.
I mean, sort of.
All right.
All
right. Not your favorite.
I've been taking my Voltron deck apart. It used to be piloted or have Kellen the Fey Blooded as its commander, where turn 1 you use the adventure side of Kellen and go find Hammer of Nazan. Then turn 2 play Kellen. Turn 3 put something on the battlefield. Turn 4 Hammer of Nazan. Kellen's now indestructible, and it becomes the same game plan over and over. It's a solid deck. It was great for teaching people, but it was boring.
Okay. Not your most fun deck.
Not really.
All right. I got another game for you.
Okay.
Last card standing, winner stays. You only get to keep one card. Naya edition. First up, Mael, the Anima versus Girid, Conclave Exile. Are you up on your Naya?
I need to figure out which Geared it was.
Oh, okay.
Because they printed a new Geared recently. This is not it.
Not it.
But we're doing Mael, the Anima. It's one of the more interesting decks because I've seen it built with like a sideboard of 20 or 30 monsters or creatures. And before the game, you take all your creatures out of the deck. They're meant to be big. Shuffle it in with your sideboard. Count out the right number. Put it in. That way it's a different deck every time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the way her ability works is just look at the top 5 cards, pick one that's big enough, and put it on the battlefield.
So you want to have some big creatures.
Yeah, you already have your pile of big creatures, and now it's random every time. You're like, it might be in here if I need it. It might not.
But I to play.
Yeah, it's a really interesting card to build like that.
Up against Zakama, Primal Calamity.
Zakama is a beast, but I like that Mael play style a bit more.
Against Wata, Trainer Prodigy. Wata, W-A-Y-T-A.
White doesn't make it's a weird fight mechanic trying to trigger abilities multiple times off your own creatures by making them punch each other. It feels clunky and like an ineffective way to do so.
Okay, so that sounds like a no thank you.
Yeah, it's a no thank you. Mael can stay put for now.
Marisi, Breaker of the Coil.
All right, now we're going to switch over to Marisi. Go decks are so interesting to me, and seeing how you can play them out, especially when there's essentially a silence effect on your commander, stopping people from interacting with you on your turn. Such an interesting way of building around something.
Up against Duskana, the Rage Mother.
I'm sticking with Marisi. If you want bears, build Kudo.
Hazizon, Shaper of Sand.
I'm sticking with
Marisi. Against Rocco, Street Chef.
Oh, jeez. Let's
Does
switch
this
over
guy
to Rocco.
just serve you sandwiches until you lose life?
That's one way to view it. The other way is instead of serving sandwiches, he stuffs them down your throat until your belly bursts.
Who are you going with?
I'm taking Rocco.
Are you really? All right.
Yeah, I'm taking Rocco here.
Just for the fun of it?
He's also just that good.
Balin the Haymaker.
I'm sticking with Rocco.
Oh, I love it. Voja, Jaws of the Conclave.
Voja.
Okay, that was quick.
That I have that deck. It is a disgusting deck in the best way.
In the best way. Pantlaza.
Like if Voja stays out in 2 combats, you're dealing lethal to 2, maybe all 3 opponents.
Okay. So when someone sees Voja come out, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should.
Against Pantlaza, Sun favored.
I enjoy Voja more.
All right. Only one more. Just Sun's avatar. Jisaths.
So
I can try that one 10
is
times. I have a
real-
hard time with it.
Yeah, everyone does. So he's a really strong dinosaur commander. I just don't gravitate towards dinosaur tribal. I'll stick to my wolves, elves, and overpowered shenanigans with built-in card draw that is Voja.
Voja for the win.
Voja for the win.
All right.
Thank you everyone who made it to the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed the game so far, enjoyed us sprinkling in a new game, which could see a reprisal in the future if people seem to enjoy it. And once we complete another round of color pairings and eventually probably have a grand finale of all of our main winners, it's going to be a really interesting time to see how this evolves, especially as new sets get released in the meantime.
I enjoyed the bracket challenge because it looked like you were in a lot of mental pain, which brought me joy. So when you say that you hope people enjoyed it, I, for one, at least one person enjoyed watching you squirm.
I wonder where my Magic playstyle came from.
I'm a loving dad, if anyone's worried.
You're a great father, but our gameplay styles do make sense compared to each other.
You might be right.
We've only played, what, a couple thousand games?
Oh my, how to start. Yeah, right.
Like thousands upon thousands of games against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, thanks again to everyone who made it this far. Let us know what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, all of that.
Please. See you next week.
See you next week.